think I'm going to remain here. There's one amazing example of entities who are extremely different, but work in synchrony with each other. Can anyone guess what these entities are? The fingers of our hands. It's extremely miraculous. They're very different. They serve different functions, but they work really well together to hold something, to reach out to something, to connect with others. And in times of crises, they crunch together and punch. So, what is the secret to their successful collaboration? Isn't it the hidden system of connections and communication and memory that lies beneath the skin? Isn't it almost the same as the lifeblood of any company? In HR terms, we would call culture. So how is workplace happiness related to culture? You know, they say, love makes the world go round, but culture makes companies go sound, solid, stable, and strong. And happy belated Valentine's Day to everyone here today on the topic of love. So, my journey began so before actually we go on, I just want everybody to just take a moment to appreciate their hands and just reach out to the person next to them and give them a nice handshake. Can everyone do that, please? And just enjoy the feeling of connection, oxytocin levels going up, great. Oh, it's okay. I will shake your hand. Here you go. Okay. So for the past 3 years, I've been obsessed with finding the secret to workplace happiness. And there are many reasons. There are many determinants to workplace happiness. We think happiness is something we feel. It's a sentiment. It's feelings of pleasure. But it's not. Workplace happiness is an outcome of something great or something good that's happening. Many things happening together. So is workplace happiness installing a new coffee machine? Or getting foosball tables in our companies? Or higher salaries? Or maybe free food? I think to some of us, yes, it is happiness. However, they are not enough to keep our happiness levels high or at least consistent. They're not components to long-term and sustainable happiness. So I decided, before I go and explain this chart here, I've been working as an employee for at least 14, 15 years. And I saw a lot of negativity, unnecessary negativity and anxiety in the workplace. We saw dysfunctional relationships among peers, disregarded employees who work so hard and stay long hours in the office, discord between business priorities and employee needs, many issues. And I still see it till this day. And even if I meet companies who are doing something about it, they're just not fast enough, and especially in MENA-based organizations. So I thought, okay, I'm going to throw out a survey and see what really makes people unhappy at work in MENA-based organizations. And in this survey, I touched upon many components to workplace happiness. So it was salary, culture, engagement, what else? Relationships, and so forth. You already know, and you've heard a lot about that today already. And what was very interesting, we found that, and this was, by the way, done in October 2018, so the results are quite fresh still. And we found that culture and mindset was the biggest concern for MENA-based employees. Not salary, that came second, but culture. So that's when I decided to dig a bit deeper. And what I realized is that it completed the picture of another research done by Deloitte in 2016, where only 12% of businesses worldwide really understand their culture. And of these 12%, less than half are doing anything about it. Not because they don't want to, but also because they don't know where to begin. Culture is really difficult to define. It's difficult to touch. Our previous speaker spoke about that. And what's happening is it's causing a lot of workplace anxiety. And it's costing us $1 trillion every year of lost productivity, according to the World Health Organization. We spend more than half of our time in our workplaces, more than in our homes, with colleagues more than with our families. And anxiety, I mean, I don't know if you know this, but your relationship with your boss, if it is a bad one, it's directly linked to heart disease. So this is, again, according to studies out there. Actually, before we move on to the next slide, that reminds me of a speaker I watched at the World Government Summit. His name was Dr. George McCarran. And he comes from the Psychological Studies Institute, and he's developed an app called Mappiness. Mappiness basically tracks your happiness levels on a moment-to-moment basis, okay? In conjunction to your life events. So this app works that it shoots out questions on a daily basis and you just have to answer them. And what was interesting and what really makes sense to this slide is that he found that work scored at a -5 percentage point, which is an equivalent of feeling sick. Okay? And that is the #1 cause for our unhappiness on a daily basis. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a big problem. Now we have this big wave of AI and robotics and automation coming in, and we know it's coming into the HR tech space. This swift advance in technology we're not able to catch up with. This is also increasing our anxiety. There's a wave of major job replacements and also creations. Now, this is Stanford professor Andrew Ng, who co-founded Google Brain, the deep learning AI section of Google. And this is what he said. And because of that, we're looking at a terrible future. I don't want to scare you, though. See, what's happening is social media, this swift entry of technology, I'm sure you all noticed, we've got a generation of narcissism going on. We've also got a millennial burnout. Millennials are burned out already. They're working much harder than their parents used to work back in the days. They're using social media to compare themselves to others, and that immediately steals away from your happiness. And according to neuroscientist Dr. Susan Greenfield, these are the outcomes of it. People are starting to get shorter attention spans, they have lower empathy, poorer critical thinking. Yes, they can still process information very fast because they've now been able to do that with the information overload coming from all over the place. So, are we prepared for this kind of mindset in the future and in our workplaces? What are we doing about it? What about the future of mindset? Biotechnology is becoming huge. Very soon, we'll be having chips in our bodies that make us open our own doors, share business cards, and make purchases just using your hand. And we've seen that, I don't know if you've attended GTEX in Dubai 2 years ago. We've seen that launched in Dubai 2 years ago. And a lot of those guys are doing it already. And probably this is also making us so preoccupied with competing with machines. And hence, we want to find a way to enhance our own natural capabilities. But do we really want to be second-rated computers and second-rated machines? Or can we focus on other skills that make us exceptional as humans? And a note on that, you must look at the work of Yuval Noah Harari, who speaks about the importance of knowing yourself. Because once biotechnology comes in, you could be hacked. You're now a machine and can be hacked emotionally, physically. So if you don't know yourself and you are unable to manage your own emotions and your own thoughts, you spoke about the importance of emotions at work. That's exactly it. That's detrimental to the future of workplaces, future of happiness. So now on to the nice things. On a more positive note, if we invest in building happy and highly engaged organizations, we can get these results, these outcomes. Lower turnover, employee citizenship, customer loyalty, and name it all. It's all there. So we can all agree that disengagement negatively impacts corporate culture, okay? So I'm going to share with you 3 things we can do today that could help improve your corporate culture and build a happier workforce. Number 1, let's build a culture of engagement that touches the heart, and more specifically, focus on building friendships. In a study, it was found that co-workers with best friends were 7 times more engaged. That led to 7% customer loyalty more, and 12% company profitability. Excuse me, I got lost a bit there, but those are actual numbers. Okay. Let's build a culture of communication which relies on real time, on time, and any time. So before, on this one, it was more of using employee engagement apps that could help do that for you and reward people, and HR and business leaders don't have to worry about anything. In communication also, we have digital communication solutions that allow for such communication to take place and not alienate anyone in the organization. Let's build a culture of innovation through design thinking workshops to help employees rethink the way they work and help solve business challenges in a more effective way. And in order to do that, there are 3 key takeaways that I want you to remember. First, we need to build chemistry with our teams. And I'm proud to say that I've collaborated with My Brain International, who has helped me get on board the neuro personality type assessments, and this is how we build chemistry and we organize cognitive diversity in the workplace. 2, prioritize fun, do games, celebrate, corporate role play to deal with difficult situations. And lastly, we spread positivity by providing training programs to transform existing employees in your organization into happiness culture and ethical ambassadors or warriors, like you see on this slide. I wanted to explain more about the Maharishi Effect. I don't know, has anyone heard of the Maharishi Effect here? Maybe I don't have time to go through that. Just very quickly, so the Maharishi Effect came from a yogi called Maharishi in the 1960s, and he predicted that if 1% of the community does transcendental meditation, crime rates in that community reduces by 16%. So this is the idea with this program, that we implant happiness or positive employees to reduce negativity in the workplace. And we're playing our part. As you know, in Dubai, we have a Ministry of State of Happiness. And Synchro, or Synchrocoms, I'm now renaming it, we are playing our part in the corporate world to make Dubai a happier city. So the next time somebody asks your employees, how is work? Make sure they put the right finger up. Keep your thumbs up. Thank you.